Teaching English as a second language in China was amazing, and there are so many different experiences that I had. I tried to keep it varied for my students because I think they had the rigorous training in life for schools, you know, kind of robotic almost. So I tried to develop and bring in different thoughts and experiences for them. One of them is I was teaching a class and they were doing hospitality, and they were over their heads and just overwhelmed for so many things. So the cool thing is I had just gotten back from summer vacation, and I had visited my now husband, but he was a friend, boyfriend, whatever at the time, friend. Anyway, so he gave me this book. Obviously I read it quite a bit. Love it, okay? And I'm still at the beginner's guide. So it's called Quiet Mind, A Beginner's Guide to Meditation by Susan Piver. I hope it's Piver. Oh, and I guess it has a CD in it. I never even listened to the CD. Anyhow, it was great. So what I did is we talked about words, we talked about all the things that they needed to do. I said, okay, the second half of our lesson is we're going to meditate. And they can use the words in English, right? You're still teaching them English, but I really needed my students, especially in that class, to have some downtime. I mean, they were so overwhelmed. I could see that they were just getting pressure from all sides. And I'm like, at this point, I mean, what really matters? So what I did is I taught them things that I was learning also. And I have to say, I got a lot out of this, but it was so nice. So I actually taught them, this was the lesson. It's, may I be free from danger, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I live with ease. Very basics, right? But we talked about sitting there in calmness, calming anxiety, talking about things. And it was one of my favorite classes because I could see it kind of like melt off of them. I mean, of course, at first they're like, this hippie teacher is weird, you know, because I did some really random things with them, but we had a good time and they improved quite a bit. And it's because it was more enjoyable than like a heavy fist on them. Like I'm not a heavy fist person. And so with that class, we talked about, you know, why it's nice to clean your mind, to be able to breathe with all these things coming down, how we can do that. So we did a simple meditation in this class, and as strange as it was, and luckily it was one of my smaller classes, I could see them kind of just relax and be at ease. So this is one of my lessons that I did when I was teaching English as a second language. It was definitely, you know, we talked about English, we talked about all those things, but I split one of the days in half. I said, okay, let's concentrate on us. Now, I find I speak Spanish, right? And some Mandarin, but not enough. But what happens is when you have to think of the actual meaning of an emotion in another language, I feel that it gets kind of deep. And so that was one reason I said, you know, let's do this. And of course, we're doing it in English, but really think of how you feel, use these emotions, and, you know, think of it in English and then explain to me. And then after they were able to talk about it, but it was such a peaceful thing. This was a short lesson, and it's something I recommend if you've already covered your regular curriculum, because they do have, you know, things that they have to get done. But as something supplementary, especially if they're trying really hard and they're overwhelmed in the university and college. And I'm saying this because in China it's kind of a heavy load, I felt at least, and I felt that they truly needed that. So it's just a suggestion, something that may help. Peace, calmness, happiness, emotions in another language, and explaining feelings in another language. It was a huge one. Great book if you want to meditate. I'm probably just going to go over this in just a little bit after this. Anyhow, Quiet Mind. It was wonderful. I love it. Simple, perfect, to the point. And apparently I'm going to be listening to this CD Oops-a-daisy. Anyhow, enjoy your teaching English. Love your students. Enjoy your time with them. It's an amazing time to see people grow. Enjoy. P.S. The lesson was the practice of compassion, if you're looking for it. It's very nice.